Hey guys, what up? It's Chris from 8931R here, and today I'm gonna do a really quick tutorial on in-context sketching, and this is really useful for being able to make plastic parts really fast that also look clean. So yeah, so let's get into it. So the example I'm gonna be using is a drive gusset, just because I have this tutorial drive here from my speed CAD video, and also uh, drive gussets. It's pretty simple to make. Uh, Game wise, I wouldn't really recommend making plastic drive gussets this year just because of the R25 rule, since you could easily use like standoffs or something or like C channel as a substitute without having to waste plastic pieces. But it is what it is. I mean, you do whatever you want, right? Uh, so as you can see, this is just our like base CAD, right? And you'll see we have these construction circles. It's kind of faint here, but you can see we have our little construction circles marking where the holes are, right? So make sure you have those turned on in the browser. Just make sure you can go to highlight, go like click on this drop down and make sure sketches is clicked on. So it's not like this, but like this. And once you have that, we can start sketching. So create a sketch and then just have it so it's a top down, so bird's eye. And then step one is to identify where you want to have your screws, axles, or your corners, right? So figure out where you want your like screw inserts in your plastic piece, where you want the screws to go, where you want where your holes are basically, right? Where you want screws, axles, standoffs, whatever, to go through, as well as where you want the corners of the plastic piece to be, right? And most of the time, the corners are going to be where the screw is, just for simplicity, but you might have a complex design. So for drive gussets, let's say I want to have my screw holes be here, 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 and here, and we're gonna have our corners also be we're here on each of these holes, right? So once we've identified that, go to click on create, and then go to project include, and click on project, and then click on all the circles over the space you want the like you want to have your like holes are, or like the corners, right? So now that we have that, click on center diameter circle, click on the circle button, and then hover over the like. As you can see in the last step, when you project it, it should like highlight the dot in like a little outline. Here it's like purple, so that's how you know you projected it correctly. What you want to do is get the circle tool out and then hover over so it snaps right onto it, and then create a circle that's basically how wide you want. Like the diameter of the circle should be equal to uh two times the length that you want like your corners to be rounded, aka filleted, right? So we're gonna use zero point 0.5 just because most cases you're just going 0.25 is what you want like this rounded corner to be. Is 0.25 is like what most corner fillets are. You might want to have it like 0.625 depending on the application if you want to have more thickness around the hole or whatever. But for this application, zero point 0.5 should be fine in most cases. So just go over each of our points that we projected and create a circle that's half an inch in diameter. So once you have here, once you have this set up, now just click on the line tool and just make a really go on like each of the edges, right? Where you want the edge of each all of the edges of this like plastic piece to be. Just make a really big line that's wider between like the center of this circle, the center of this circle on each face. So we're just go here, here, here. And for like angled parts, don't worry about it not being like the right angle, since we'll be able to fix that pretty easily. So as you can see, we have our lines here in like the relative positions on where we want them to go on the gusset. So now you want to go to constraints and click on tangent, and then click on the line, and then click on the circle. Click on the line first, or else you're going to be moving the circle to the line, and you don't want that because you want to move the line to the circle. So click on the line, click on the circle. As you can see, it's snapped straight to place where it's tangent to the circle, as well as to this other one. I'll do it again here. Now sometimes you won't be able to get the like you won't be able to get it like perfectly connected to both like tangent to both circles in one click. You'll see here if I click on here, as you can see, it like it's tangent to this circle, but it's not over here. And to fix that, all we have to do is just click on the line again, and then click on the other circle we want to make it tangent to. And then as you can see here, sometimes if the angle is like way too extreme, like if it goes past the center, it'll try to snap it to the nearest point, right? So we're just gonna have to go back and shift this order here, like that. And you'll see here, boom. Okay, so once you have all of the once you have all the like lines tangent to the circles and you get to see this like rough outline of what the sketch actually will be, now you want to just go to the trim tool and then just delete all these excess lines. And make sure you're also going around the edges here. Like if this is our corner, or go around the corners, because if this is our corner here, you also want to just scroll and get rid of this other excess crap. So now that we have that, now we want to basically get the rest of our corners done. So most of the corners are already like rounded because of when we started with the circle. The circle's at the second step, which is pretty nice. But like, let's say I want to have it rounded in like in here. I want this part to be filleted just so it's not this sharp corner. What we can do is just go to modify, click on the fillet tool, and then click on both faces, and then just type how much you want to have it rounded. I'm just gonna keep it consistent and do 0.25 since that should work in most cases, but depending on how much clearance you need, more or less might be required. So as you can see, we have that. Now we're actually gonna get our screw holes in. So as I said before, I want screw holes here, 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 and here. And since this is the drivetrain gusset, I'm also going to have another screw hole in the midpoint here. But for the outer ones that we already have the geometries projected, just do what you did in like step 1 before, and just hover over the circle and get the hover over the point with the circle tool, and then for screws, 0.183 works pretty good. It's not too loose or too tight. Depending on what you're using it for. Like if you're using a shaft, 0.183 could work, but I like to go a little bit bigger, like 0.186, just to have a little bit more free spin. So yeah, so now that we have all the circles for where the screws are gonna go on our like base points, now we're gonna add one more just to keep it braced, supported properly. So we're gonna go line from here to here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over again to get the length, and then we're gonna just take that and divide that by 2. And now that we have this point, you can just make the circle, the screw size. So then once you have the outer like shape of the plastic part and the holes, like the where you're gonna have the hole, like how wide you're gonna have the holes drilled into it, now just click on the trim tool and just remove any extra like parts. Like as you can see here, I can remove this inner circle because it's connected on both sides. I mean, you don't have to do this step, but this just makes it a lot easier when you're extruding the part to do if you just clean the design up. Like so. So once you have your design all cleaned up and ready and your sketch is finished, click on Finish Sketch. And if I actually click on here, if I just hide this, you should be able to see what the sketch looks like. that looks pretty clean already. I guess there's a little spot we didn't touch up on, but we can just delete that. So this is what the sketch should look like, and it's already looking pretty clean. But to actually turn it into a plastic part, what you want to do is go to create, click on extrude, select the sketch. So select every point that you want to extrude up. If you did the circles correctly, you shouldn't have to unclick these. Since we didn't click these circles because we don't want, this is where our holes are gonna be, so we don't want to have this ex, uh, extruded upwards. We just want the like material around it, right? So once you click on it, uh, just pull this arrow up a little bit to get this box, and then just type your plastic thickness in there, and you can do the fraction if you want. So 1/16 should be what most people are using for plastic. You could use 132, but most plastics people are using are 1/16. So type that into this box and then hit enter. So as you can see, we created this. We have the actual body now, and then to turn it into a component, we're going to go up, click on the bodies tab at the top, and then click on that and make sure you're selecting the right one. What you want to do now is you want to right click and click on create components from bodies, and then scroll all the way down where you'll see it's a new component. And the reason we do this is basically if it's a body, it's really hard to like move it and have it interact. Like if like using the align tool, if you want to align two components, like two pieces together, they have to basically be like the same type. So they either have to both be components or both be bodies. So now that this is a component, to actually change the look of it and make it look like plastic, just right click the component again, click on appearance, and then in this box just search up for like normal polycarb, just look up polycarb and put the clear one on there. And once you have if this isn't showing up for you, it might just be that you haven't clicked this. So there, you see nothing there, just tap Fusion Appearance Library and you should see it. So once you have your material, just hold and drag it onto the piece, and as you can see, it turns it into, it has that look now. But for our purpose and just to make it easier to see, I'm gonna be doing Delrin, which is Ace Tool resin here, this white one. So as you can see, we have the part colored, and then to actually attach it onto the drive now, I'm going to move it out the way and add back the C channel parts. And now just use the align tool and connect it to where you want the holes are. And boom. You have made a drive gusset now. Or whatever custom part you're trying to make, right? Yeah, so this method works for basically every plastic part that you would probably want to make in VEX, unless it's like if it's a part you need to bend. Bending is like a separate thing that you'll have to do once you get like the unbent form of it done. But for like most parts, you should be able to just create them pretty quickly using the same method. And yeah,